Hi everyone, Emery from PDMG here. I'm going to be talking with you all today about how to list your own book on Amazon. This is going to be assuming that the book was listed by a publisher. So we're going to walk you guys through how to set this up. Okay, so let's start here. Have you had a situation before as a seller that involved needing two listings for the same product? There's, varying reasons as to why this may be necessary. But today, since we're talking about books, it's because we need to sell our book under our Amazon store and with our publisher on Amazon Books. So I'm going to be walking you through an example of having two listings for the same book and how to manage the situation effectively. Okay, so let's start here, just kind of like getting the lay of the land, the situation. Okay, so you're a seller on Amazon and you want to add a book that you wrote to your collection of products. As I said above, you're going to want to sell this on Amazon Books listed by your publisher, assuming you have one, in addition to selling under your Amazon store, just for maximum exposure. Selling on Amazon Books as a publisher and selling a book under your Amazon store are actually two separate things. So this is going to require the two different listings for the exact same book. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of ways we cannot go about this. Selling the same book in two different places is going to mean using the same ASIN across both listings. However, you can't just create two listings on Amazon and just use two different ASINs. This is not allowed because it is the exact same product. You also might be wondering, can I just create two different SKUs under one ASIN? And now this is an accepted practice like in certain situations, but not here because the product is in two completely different places. So let's break this down to make sure it's super clear. In this situation, the product is sold under the Amazon store, which is spot number 1, and under the publisher, which is spot number 2. So doing multiple SKUs is not possible here. And we know that the book is coming from the same company. It's the same book. The one person wrote it, but it's not listed in the same place. So think about it this way. Your book is going to be under two different accounts, two different Amazon seller logins, one for the store and one for the publisher. So the listings are in completely different places. So that's why you can't do multiple SKUs. So what this means is that you are essentially going to be competing with yourself on Amazon. Your Amazon store is technically just another reseller of the book sold by your publisher, but this is not an issue when it's managed correctly. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's look at the action. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is just create our listings. So let's start with the publisher. Go into your account, set up your listing for the book with all of the proper information that's needed to set up a listing on Amazon Books. Add in your images, all the things. Books get registered with an IBSN, which is an International Standard Book Number. In most cases, the IBSN serves as the ASIN, and in this case, the IBSN and the ASIN are interchangeable here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so you've created your listing as the publisher. The next step is to set up your second listing under your Amazon store. So you're going to go to your account for your Amazon store, and under Manage Inventory, you're going to click Add a Product. There, you'll be able to type in the IBSN, and the book should come up because you already created a listing for it with the publisher. So the next step is really important here. You're not actually adding a new product because this listing already exists, the one that you just created. So what you're going to do instead is create an offer, and you'll click that button, which means you're creating an offer on an existing product. Name your SKU appropriately, and then fill in the information that's requested by Amazon. They're going to ask you for the price, the condition, is it new, old, the country of origin, etc. And this information should match up what you put in for the other listing. Okay, so what happens next? First thing you want to do here is just check to make sure that both of your listings are up. And another important check is to make sure that you can send an inventory for both listings if you're using FBA. So, go into your shipments and check and make sure that you can do this. Now, only one of these listings may win the buy box and or the contribution, and you need to figure out which listing it is, which listing is winning. You can test this by trying to submit changes on the listings and see what happens. So you could maybe try to go in and change a bullet point or just change, the very end of your title and see where the changes actually take, like on which account do you have success submitting your changes. And just as a reminder, the buy box is Amazon's box on the right-hand side of the listing page. And that's where customers can add to cart or buy now for your product. So only one of your listings can win this buy box. Same goes for the contribution. Remember that the contribution is related to the control over your title, your bullet points, your images, etc. Only one listing may have its contributions displayed on the live detail page, which is exactly why we're suggesting that you kind of test this and submit changes on both and see what takes. Okay, so once you have determined which listing has the control, is it the brand or is it your Amazon store, or is it the publisher in this case? We recommend that you manage the detail page content from the winning listing. So whichever one that may be. And any changes you make to that listing should copy over to the other. So this means that essentially you're physically managing one listing, but you're really managing two because the information is copying over. So going forward, the only task that you're going to need to keep separate is your inventory. Like we talked about, we're working from two different accounts here. You may send the appropriate inventory for both listings, and it doesn't have to be the same amount for both. And then you should be able to have sales come in on both listings. Keep in mind that the listing with the buy box is going to perform better. And then you can just manage your inventory levels accordingly from there. And I think that about covers it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And I will include links down below to our website where we have a blog post about this topic and our LinkedIn page too. Thanks so much.